My name is Leo Francis A. Register number URK24CO 2005. This is Object-Oriented Programming Laboratory 23DZ 2002. This is experiment number 4. So, in this experiment, I have totally three programs. The first program is a library system. It uses the concepts of user interface, and the second program is about max and trigonometric function. Like it's a toolkit which where the calculation or in mathematics and in calculation trigonometrics like sine, cos, tan will be implemented using multiple interfaces and constant. And the last program is a student management app, which includes undergraduate and postgraduate datas. And this is the three programs. So first, the library system. So this idea is very simple, like loading a book, which means loading a book into the library. The second function, so as you can see over here, there are totally four functions. So the first one is load book, so which loads the book into the library. The second one is borrowing a book from a library, and the third one is returning book to the library. So as you can see, I have created an interface which has two functions called borrow book and return book. So any type of class which extends this book must explain or must define these two functions. So if you see over here, this library book class implements this book interface. So as I told, if any class implements this books function, it has to define these both functions. So as you can see over here, the borrow book function is defined and the return book function is defined. So over here, if the borrow book, okay, if the book is not borrowed, uh, if it books, if it is not borrowed, it it flips the flag and it prints the confirmation as it is already borrowed. So if it is already borrowed, the book is already borrowed now, like it will show the user and it warn a warning that the book is already borrowed. So in the main function, I have a single reference of this book named the current book. So over here, I first load the title of library system object, then borrow or return through the interface methods. So over here, when I run this code, we'll be having Java library system. So over here, it asks me to load a book. So I'm giving Harry Potter. So as you can see, the book is loaded into this library. So if you want to borrow the book, so I can give the Harry Potter book is borrowed. So if someone else wants to borrow the same uh, Harry Potter book, it warns the user that the Harry Potter is already borrowed. So if you want to return the book, it shows that the Harry Potter has been returned. So if I give 4, it exits the system. So this is the concept of the library system. So the next program is about it creates a it creates an interface called max operable and trigonometric operable. So max operable defines integer style operations with while the division is done with the data type double, and the trigonometry operable provides sine, cos, tan functions. So over here, integer operations implements the math operable. So any class which implements the interface, it has to define all the functions inside the interface. As you can see, all the functions are being defined over here. And similarly, the floating point operations also, it implements the max operable. So it has to define all the functions. Similarly, the trigonometry operation implements the trigonometric operable interface. So it has to define all the function which is present in the uh, trigonometry operable interface. So in the main function, I'm declaring three objects. Uh, so one is for integer operation and another is for floating point operation, another for trigonometric operation. So while true, like I'm giving like the user, like there are totally four options or four features in this mathematical operation menu. And with the switch case, I'm inside the integer operations, I have these five things, and similarly in floating case as well. And in trigonometric, there are totally three: sine, cos, and tangent. So when I run this code, oh, alright. Okay, sorry. So when I run this code, Java test. Okay, so over here, the integer operation. So if I give addition, it gives number two, the result is 15. And in floating point operation, if I want to subtract any two values, I can give 10.0 minus 9.8. The answer is 0.1. And the third is trigonometric, and if I want to find any sine value, and if I give 90 degree, it gives me 1.0. And if I give the tan, if I give 45, it also gives me 0.99. And the fourth function is called 0. So this is the second program. And the third program is about the student system, student application. So it demonstrates, it gives abstract base class, and it gives two interfaces like gradable and playable. So over here, student is an abstract class. It provides the fields like student ID, name, course, and it asks the marks if of the subjects, and it calculates the grade, and it calculates the result. So it this over here, we can see that there is an constructor which have been created. So UG and PG have different grade thresholds. Like for UG, the average grade A is above 85, but for PG, the average grade is above 90. Similarly for B, C, and F as well. So in the this display settings. This display details in the postgraduate class as well as the undergraduate class. It's used to print all the values which is given by user. Like for calculating the result, it uses a ternary operator, and if the grade is equal to F, it prints as fail. If else, it passes the value. Over here, it calls since this undergraduate student class extends the student class, which means the parent class is student and the child class is undergraduate student. So over here, it uses the super function, which calls the parent function, where the parent function have all these values over here. So in the main function, I have declared the object of from students, and over here there are totally three options: add an undergraduate, postgraduate. So by using the switch case, I'm able to get the input from the user and be able to. So when I run this code, Java test. So where I want to like student ID 2005, Leo course is MBA, and 23454, and it gives EC. So I want to postgraduate and two courses BBA 100. So if I want to display, it gives me like everything. So if I want to, it's okay. So this is the fourth experiment. Thank you.